Don't adjust your screens. I'm trying on a different camera angle. Welcome back to another video. This is our Monday/Tuesday project update videos, and I'm just trying a different camera view. My old school original camera view straight on. I don't think I'm gonna like it. I don't like how my chair top makes me look like I got a square head like somebody from Star Wars, and it does add a few pounds, several, like 30. So let's get ready for a video. Like I was saying, welcome back to another video. This is going to be our crypto wrap up video. It is, I know I say this all the time, but I'm telling y'all, my challenge is to get this done in under 30 minutes. There have not been a lot of changes in some of our projects. In fact, majority of the market's going sideways. No really new announcements, but we're going to go over some things. Before we get started, please just do me a favor. Take half a second, look straight down, and you will see the little thumbs up button. Please just do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. I always say it, but it helps out more than you realize. It also helps out all these projects we're going to discuss because I have them all tagged below in the description below. So I gotta get figure out this whole microphone thing and everything like that. Also, don't forget you can go to heliumdeploy.com, and I actually re-added hifix.com because I had thought that majority of y'all were not going to use hifix no more. At least that's what some of y'all have told me after some of the shenanigans that went on with them in the Wingbits devices. And I don't blame Wingbits at all. For those of y'all who are not that familiar with it, hifix had some issues with the devices, and they're still having some issues with devices. So some of y'all told me y'all weren't using hifix. So just to clean it up a little bit, I removed hifix. But during my live the other day, I went on to Helium Deploy and hifix. And it's something I'm doing now just to kind of let everybody know what people are purchasing. I can go on those and those two websites and just see kind of what people are purchasing right now. I have no idea who it is. I have no idea what part of the world or their country that they live in. It just says on this date and time, your code was used for these items, period. I was quite surprised to find that there are, and let me explain all that before y'all take it the wrong way. I was quite surprised to see the amount of Wingbits devices still being sold. Because if you listen to certain people on X or on Discord, they make it sound like since they postponed TGE again, it's all hell and brimstone and they all got all kinds of issues. Apparently not. People are still buying not only WB200s, but they're also buying MGW310s, which is also surprising when you look at what we're making right now with the Geodnet project. It's a great project. Both of these are going to be great projects. But price is down a little bit. In 6 months, you got another halving with Geodnet, so I was quite surprised. Helium Deploy, you had people who bought the 4D Sky that we've been discussing. Those have been selling. People still buying toothbrushes. In fact, my daughter is begging me to buy a BrushO toothbrush for her so she can make a little bit of crypto. So I am going to be purchasing one of those soon, an additional toothbrush. I told the only dealer she has to brush twice a day, and Dad's going to see because when I see the rewards, I'm going to know if she's brushing twice a day or not. So she's going to tell on herself. But, she wants one. Let me see what else. Helium Deploy. I'm also seeing somebody or people purchasing a anyone router, which is something I had to actually look up. I wasn't familiar with it, but there are people purchasing this. I'm familiar with the project, something I might need to look into. But I had people who bought two 4D Air Skies, and I was a little surprised by that just because of the pricing. They're not cheap. 4D Skies. They call it the Air Squitter. I do see where somebody else bought one, and then 2 days later they returned it for some reason. Why did you buy it then? I don't know. Let's see what else they've been buying. They've been buying BrushO with a beamable checker node. So that kind of tells you what people are buying right now, at least using my code. But we're gonna go over the crypto market a little bit. Again, I'm not trying to make this a super long video because there's not a lot of details going on in these projects. So let's see what's going on in crypto. Bitcoin sideways. Last week when we did our video, Bitcoin was about 86, 87,000. You see it's at 90. So we did have a nice little jump, came up, corrected, and this is where it's at right now. I don't know. This is the 1 hour chart. This is the daily chart. So we'll see what happens with it. You know, we have another meeting coming up again about rates. I don't think that's going to do much, but who knows? Lunar Classic is up 110% for the week. Whether sustainable, Happy Cat of Crypto, who again is a big proponent of Lunar Classic, he runs a validator. He's even telling everybody to take caution. You know, I'm up. I've also been staking this for a long time. I own tens of millions of these Link tokens. I bought them at the bottom, so I did good. And I'm hoping it just eats zero too. But this is one of the hot topics right now. All right, so here we go, get started. And I have a new, I don't want to say sponsor, but Gardepro has given me a trail camera to test out, which I'm currently in the process of testing on my outdoors channel. But hey, you can use if you have any kind of remote setups for Wingbits or any kind of DePin project, Gardepro is an inexpensive camera compared to what some of these other ones are. There are several different kinds of Gardepros, some Wi-Fi only that saves you money, some cellular. Cellular plans aren't too bad. You can look at Gardepro. Go to guardepro.com/grumpydad56, and you can use the code grumpydad56 at checkout for a discount. And again, it does help the channel. There'll also be these links in the description below. But number one on our list for the week, for the second week in a row, is Geodnet. Geodnet's price has stayed kind of the same in the past week. You know, it says it's up 8%, but it was at 13.5 cents. It's at 14.5 cents right now. So hey, it's a positive direction. We'll take it. One of the big announcements from Geodnet. I don't know if this is going to be like, this is the first time reading of it as I found it here, but there is the token run. Anybody? Token run is now live on the Solana dApp store. Move to earn adventure powered by Geodnet, turning walks, runs, commutes, daily routes into real crypto treasure hunts. Backed by proof of location. There's chest random boots up to 20x on all month long. Secret only. Secret users to get bonus airdrop. Android campaign will come early 2026. And, you know, X follow rewards, whatever. So you can go to tokenrun.app and see what this is all about. Apparently right now it's only for Android. I have very mixed feelings about this. While I love the Geodnet project and I like what they do as far as the geolocation and all that stuff like that, I don't think they need to get into gimmicks. Maybe this is something to help out people a little bit. Maybe this is a completely different project. You know, I wonder, when you look at tokenomics that was set up a while back, they didn't have any plans of doing this. So where are these tokens coming from? Or is this completely separate tokens that they had left over from something? I don't know. But I am very curious about the why. Is this something just to keep interest? But you know, when you look at the different type of tokens, is this a separate company doing something where you can win these tokens? I don't know. We'll find out more, and maybe I'll do a video on it or something. All right, so we're gonna move on. Number 2 is gonna be Chirp. Chirp's still going down in price a little bit. Still making about 144 tokens every epoch, which is about every 2 days with the project. So for the week is down 10%. Not too bad. It was at a little over 2 cents. It's now a little bit under 2 cents. It did have a little bit of rise during the week. It went up to 2.5 cents. It would have been nice to see it keep this momentum, but it is down. And you know, from where this project went from on what we were making per day, now that we're at $1.40. Again, this is only on the Blackbird miner side. I don't really discuss KAGE because KAGE is so lopsided depending on where you live at, where you might have a lot of beacons and Some places like where I'm at have no beacons, even though they said every town that was submitted should have beacons now. I've been riding around the town that I've been submitting for the last 2 months when I bought the beacon extenders or whatever they are, and there's no beacons in my area. So I don't discuss the chirp cage really. So 5 days left until the current cage. That was on the 2nd, so it's basically done. So year round basically should be starting over as you watch this video. Hey community, time to make a little noise while the chart on CMC moves up and down. It has been doing that. We keep doing the same thing. Widen IoT coverage with our DePin network. I'll argue with that. Jump to the CoinMarketCap page, add Chirp to your watch list, and drop a rating. They're not pushing miners at all. Well, they can say what they want. That's one of my complaints I've had with Chirp. You're trying to be an IoT network, but you're still playing this game with NFTs. You're still allowing scalpers to take NFTs, double the price on them. And who's going to buy a miner at double the price? Quit with the NFT thing and just sell the miners. You're not helping your project. And I like the Chirp project. I'm hoping they can fix this ship. If you're holding Chirp, but they're not really understanding the token things, we ask everyone to hold it, read this. Machine World. I'm not reading all that to y'all. Round 7 has been extended. Before closing the round, we need to run a server operation that's safe to execute on weekdays. So that end of round 7 is moving from Sunday to Monday, which is again today as we watch this, as we do this video. The battle continues. Chirp gives you 2 things, whatever. So look, you know what? I'll tell you what. Y'all want to put this out there? Let's look at. You keep pushing this IoT thing and platform and control layer. Let's look at the coverage map. Let's go there. Y'all want to go there? We can go there. Look at this coverage. I mean, and even this looks like it would be that this is. So look at this. I mean, this isn't widespread IoT coverage. You know, even when we saw this on the map just now, there's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of gaps. How can you be pushing this IoT network when this is what your coverage looks like? Somebody asked earlier about, I didn't want to put a station up because I'm not going to have any other devices around it. Chirp doesn't care. You look at where mine is. Mine's in the New Orleans area. And the nearest station is 300 miles away, I think, wherever Houston, however far Houston is from me. That's the nearest station. Going back towards the east, the nearest station's in Jacksonville. Does this look like IoT coverage to you? If you had a company, you would rely on this. So they need to do something. I mean, look at New York. What's New York got? 4 stations? That's not, because that's Jersey, isn't it? So that's New York. You got 3 stations. I think y'all need to work on that. Quit with the NFT crap. All they're doing is getting scalped. People are then turning right around and selling for $400 or $500 or $800 more. Get away from NFT. Sell miners direct. All right, moving on. Number 3 is going to be Onocoy. Onocoy, that price has also stayed about the same. And, to me, Onocoy is trying to make steps to be a real player in the DePin market, the DePin game, yet they're still not on CoinMarketCap. So that's why I haven't asked Tom to show up on CoinMarketCap. You want to make it look legitimate. I understand it costs fees. I understand it's BS the way it's set up, but hey, that's just the way the game and the gimmick goes. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And people look up projects on CoinMarketCap. So I would think that you might want to be on there. So just some announcements from Onocoy. The price has gone up a little bit since last week, but Onocoy has a Neuralock partnership announcement. They are excited to share that Onocoy is partnered with Neuralock, a leader in AI-powered GNSS correction and integrity services. It's a pretty big deal. Apparently they're not paying anything, or they're not putting money into the token. I know I'm getting sidetracked here, but I watched a video that somebody shared with me yesterday from Singapore where certain projects were talking about, is burning mechanism the right thing to do? Maybe them tokens should just be locked away for later. Listen, I'm not a tokenomics expert at all, but I think that defeats the whole purpose of burning. So we're gonna talk about that later with a different project. You'll have to stay tuned for that later in this video, because I'm gonna hit on that because it came up in a Discord and I want to address it. But from autonomous mobility and robotics to agriculture and industrial monitoring, this partnership sets a new benchmark. So this is good. This is showing that there is another player in the game, and it's not just Geodnet, it's also Onocoy, and we'll see. We'll see what this does for the project and the token price and everything else. Onocoy is officially verified gold on DePin Hub. That's a big deal too. Gold represents the top tier of DePin credibility reserved for networks with real revenue, real deployments, and real operational scale. That's awesome. You know, people have questioned if Onocoy can be a player in this game, or if they're just going to be the stepbrother on the side. And this should show you that is, you know, and then you can click on this link if you want to go and read more about it. And again, talking about HVAs, we discussed that in last week's video, but y'all can go read about it. But it's high value areas where people or customers are looking for that data, and you know, kind of like what super hexes are with Geonet and some of these other projects like that. If they need coverage in a certain area, they're giving you better reward potential for that area. All right, so moving on to number 4. Number 4 is going to be ROVR. Now, ROVR's prices come down just a little bit. And while it's just a little bit, it doesn't sound like a lot. It's down 2%. 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but I have always touted how ROVR was always around that 1 penny price. It doesn't seem to be affected and drop as bad and drastically and dangerously like some other projects do that we discussed. So, but you can see how it was at a month ago at 9 cents, went back to a penny, like I was saying. But since then, though, which is basically since November 11th, it has been on the slow and steady bleed. Now, I love the ROVR project. I wish I could afford a light cone. I would have it on my vehicle tomorrow, even though my wife would probably hang me from it. But people are making some very good rewards from that light cone. I got people telling me what they're getting on some of these trips, and I'm quite jealous. They're making a killing on it. Now, I always say that's hard for me to explain to y'all what I'm making with ROVR, because it's going to be different. Depending on what we all draw for work and errands and bringing the kids to ballparks and lunches and stuff like that, it's going to vary. But for the average, the average right now has stayed about the same. And, you know, you're getting about 1.08 ROVR per kilometer. Even though I'm driving different areas, I'm still getting about that. It might be a little better than this, but it's close. So, you know, I'd say I'm making about 74 cents a day. Here or there, take a penny here or there. But it's still, when you place it on the DePin scale, it is still one of our, out of the 20 projects we're going to discuss here, it's still top 4. You know, do I wish it was $1.74 or $5.74? Absolutely. You know, in the scheme of things, 74 cents doesn't buy you anything. But you know, buys you a third of a gallon of gas. But on the scale of DePin, making this every day, you hope it adds up. You hope the token price eventually goes up, where the tokens you're making is really worth more than the 74 cents. Now, for all y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, don't try to even mess with it, because I'm going to win it. But you do have a light cone giveaway that was announced 4 days ago. You can go to X and read about it. Do what you got to do. And as long as it reaches all this milestone by January 1st, they will be giving away a light cone. Again, I would love to get my hands on one. You know, if anybody from ROVR's watching, I'd love to do a demo for you. I know one time they were talking about looking at doing this thing where you stake X amount of tokens and you would get this device for a year. I think that's an awesome plan. Everybody who I've spoke to in my lives thinks it's an awesome plan. So ROVR, if you're watching, we think that's an awesome plan. So I hope ROVR does that. Next is going to be ENTROPY. Still averaging about 17,000 tokens a day, depending on what device you're on, if you have at least one of the whale NFTs. So after the tithe tax that you still have to pay, which I'm totally against, but hey, apparently nobody cares what I think, or I'm the only one that's complaining about it, or I'm the only one that's still realizing they're taking the tithe tax. Either way, token prices at 0.40s and a 21, which is averaging about 37 cents a day. And this token's pretty much been sideways. I think one of the most, I don't want to say alarming because I don't want to create FUD, surprising is there's only been 11 transactions a day for $100. That's very low compared to what's going on now. Some people are saying that's because your early whales have basically all got out, and now you just have people collecting from the ashlers. Hey, I'll buy some of that, but I still think not everybody who bought an ashler realizes that, you can't really sell, or you can't sell a lot, or you're out. So should we be getting more tokens? Because by now, some of these people who have been selling should be kicked out the project, but who knows? I'm hoping that they do their other project that they keep talking about, or they were talking about doing the leverage and leverage protection or something like that. That's supposed to be helping the token out. I'm hoping something happens with it. This is, I don't want this to be another project that Grumpy held on way too long because he had faith in the project. And, my wallet was very nice this time last year because I remember seeing it during hunting season, and it was very nice, thousands of dollars. And you look at it now and I just want to go cry in the corner. All right, so moving on is going to be Junk. And looking at their Discord, there's been nothing since November 5th or something like that. And the token price, it has come up a hair. So I'll give credit where credit is due. It was at 9.7 or something like that, and now it's at 1. So you're making 27 cents a day. That's junk. DIMO. I tell you what, all day there I could not get my DIMO app. I finally was able to get into it. I have found rewards have gone down in DIMO. So since I can get into it right now, I'm telling on myself I didn't get a chance to adjust this yet. So let's adjust it. All right, just so I can be accurate. My average tokens have gone down by 10. Now, I'm going to ask y'all, what the hell is going on with our tokens? Because you're not going to sit there and tell me they have people who are now putting devices online, making 11 cents a day. I was averaging 52 last week. My higher devices were getting 62 at one point, then 59. Now my highest devices are getting 49, and I got one device that got 31 and another one got 37 or something. You're not going to sit there and tell me people are putting these devices back online, so many of them, that we took a drop in the DIMO. No way. No way. Look, I'm disappointed in several of these projects you see so far on the list, but I think I'm probably most disappointed in DIMO because when I got into it, it was so much potential and everybody talks so great about it, and it sucks. Absolutely sucks. Looking at Discord, there are no updates on Discord at all about what the hell's going on. So I don't know. No DIMO. The fact that they're still advertising, Black Friday advertising, making it sound like these devices are so great, but yet they can't even tell you what the devices do because they don't sell our data. They made that clear. So it's, I don't know. I still cover it because y'all, so many of y'all are into it. So many of y'all ask me questions about it, but there's a point of me that says when projects start getting this low, do I even want to, go over them anymore? Honey Gains Pawns app, Earn app, there's nothing I can say about that I haven't said before. Earn app is still my number one project by far, just because I have 16 devices that are mining on it. Because I can, any kind of Pi, computer, anything, I can put in the Earn app runs on all of them. Where Grass is very finicky, Honey Gains Pawns seems to be very finicky. Earn app runs on everything, and I'm doing very well with Earn app. Now, individually per device, because I had to clarify this with somebody, because they're like, well, I'm only getting so many cents a day. Again, I got 14 or 15 devices on there, but I also have 14 to 15 devices running, well, got Honey Gain installed on them, Pawns installed on them, at one point Grass installed on them, and Earn app makes triple what the other two do. Earn app also per device is making more than what half these projects are making. So there's that. Moving on is 375 AI. 375 AI is making about 28 cents per day. Token price has come down a little. It was at 0.37. Now it's at 3.4. So I don't sweat that for the week. For the month, though, it is down 42%. That one hurts. Year to date, depending on what price they use for the start date, it is down 26%. But 375 AI, I think it needs a little more action to it. You know, I know they got their big plans of putting this big billboard type devices installed on billboards and stuff like that. I don't think they really did any of those yet. So right now we're just riding around with this app on the background of our phone. And I think, you know, they need a little injection in the buttocks. Big news from Eat or 375 AI. They have staking now. Community is eating steak while staking Eat. Visit the foundation so you can start your stake. 6, 12, 18 months, up to 45% limited capacity. So if you're interested in staking, you know, Grumpy's rules, and look, y'all don't have to agree with them. I know majority of y'all don't agree with them. Y'all have made that clear. I don't stake longer than 6 months because the crypto projects are way too volatile. I really don't like staking longer than 3 months. And my other question is how long is the cooling off period when I'm done with staking? That is a big thing also. So this says you have to go to the 375 AI Foundation site if you want to see about staking. You can go try that out, and you know, we'll go from there. I'll check it out also, and we'll discuss it maybe tomorrow on my live. See what people think about it. Again, me, and this is only me. This is not financial advice. You know, depending on, you know, I'm assuming 45% staking is only going to be for the 18 months. I'm curious to know what the 6 months is. I'd contemplate possibly doing it for 6 months, especially if there's not going to be an alt season, like some people are saying. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I don't know. It would take me a little bit to make a decision on this. All right, so moving on. Nubila is another one that has come down in price a little bit. Nubila down 32% in a week. You know, we were hoping that we would see some kind of increase to help fix whatever problems they got going on with this project. And look, I don't want to cause FUD, but you know, because there's a lot of people, you know, not just no-name people, I know bigger people in the crypto market, especially on X and stuff, that are still in support of this project. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know why you have a 32% drop in a week after you've already had a 94% drop in a month. This is crazy. Even today, you've had a 17% drop. So it's at 58. So really, my spreadsheet that I updated before I started this video at 6 cents is not even correct anymore. And another thing I want you to really look at also, because I didn't realize that the zero disappeared. This is 7.5 cents. 7.5 cents per day, what we're making with a Nubila device. They're going to have to fix it. Because at $300, I think what this device costs, you're looking at 4,000 days. 4,000 days. What is that? 11 years to ROI. One of the big announcements, we discussed this again in my lives. You'll have to be in my lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays because we discuss this kind of stuff. And one thing that we discussed was this announcement here. Whoever Darren G is, hey guys, I'm back in charge of the community. Things will be different from around here. First, regarding the better rebate, he talks about that. Now about TGE and Token. Token is already launched. We'll see that's currently performing badly. Weak market conditions and building. And this is, I want to take time real quick. And I don't know how I'm going to plug this, but I want to take time real quick that I want y'all to take example of this and apply this to Wingbits. Everybody is rushing for Wingbits. Now, don't get me wrong. We've been in that project. I've been in that project for 2.5 years. They talked about going to TGE early this summer. Then it was the end of August, early September. Then it was a little bit later. Then it was going to be definitely before 2026. Now it looks like it's going to be first quarter 2026. And they keep saying they're waiting for the market conditions to be right. They're waiting for, you know, they want to make sure that they can sustain the token and do buybacks and do burns and all stuff like that. And people are complaining about it. This right here is why. Robin has said multiple times, and I tell y'all, talking to Robin and the other people that are with this project, Robin wants to take care of us who's providing the information that business is using and selling. And I know I'm not supposed to be talking about Wingbits right now, but this just falls into it. And you only have the opportunity to go to TGE once. Once that cat's out the bag, you can't put the cat back in. It's very hard to get the cat back in the bag. So this is a perfect example of what happens when you might have not been ready to go TGE. We can talk about some of these other projects also that have gone TGE, maybe a little too early when they weren't 100% ready. 375 AI's had a little drop. Sword Chain, Silencio. I'm not saying they should have waited till now, a year later, but it's no secret what those projects have been doing. We're going to go over those projects in a minute, and you can see what that tokens did in the last year and tell me they were ready to support that project. Some of these projects need to start doing some burning and some buybacking, or are they not getting the customers or not getting the income from those customers like we thought they would, or they thought they would? I don't know. But let's keep going because I don't want this video being that long. So one thing I was not part of because I wasn't here early enough, but a lot of people have been asking about is the better rebate. I call it better B3TR rate rebate. This saying that the rate distribution has now been completed and sent out. Check your wallets and dashboards, confirm you received it. He wants to apologize for the delay. It took longer than it should have because people were just fighting and arguing that they didn't think they were going to ever get it. If you believe you are eligible, do not receive your rebate, please open a support ticket with your wallet address and any relevant details. We will review it by case. This is a quick reminder. If you ask any questions about this in their Discord and somebody replies back to you and says, open a support ticket here, do not do it. Report them as a fraudster, scammer, a-hole, because nobody from the team in any project on any Discord is going to send you the support ticket that way. So if you ever in any Discord and somebody or somebody DM'd you about helping you, it's a scam. Nobody's going to ever ask you if you open up a ticket, like they're saying, don't put the 12 words in there. You don't need that for your wallet or anything like that. So that should be your hint for that. So that's the two announcements right now from Nubila. I'm hoping they turn the ship around. I was very big on them. I even paid for a Nubila node. There's no talk right now about the Nubila nodes. I don't know when that's supposed to be going online. Somebody mentioned that in the Discord that those should be going online and explanations of what we need to do for that, but I have not seen anything yet. All right, moving on. We're gonna keep going. Battle for last place is WeatherXM. WeatherXM has kind of stayed sideways with their price. It was 5 cents last week when we did this video, and it's 5 cents now. So you're making about 10 cents a day here or there. I must not have updated, but yeah, you're making about 10 cents a day right now with WeatherXM. Another $300 device. It's going to take you 3,000 days to ROI. This is another project I talked about that with the testnet tokens. You're down 37% in the month. So you went from 8 cents to 5 cents. For the year, you're down 92%. Even though they've had some ups and downs in here, let's just take a look at it. Basically, it's been down. Now, am I going to say you say the same thing that they went to TGE too soon? No, because this is a project that was out for a while. And I don't know if they would have survived not going to TGE when they did, because people just had enough at some point. It took them longer to go TGE than Wingbits is at right now, I believe. But, you went from 68 cents where we're making, $1 something a day to 5 cents. I don't know how much this project is sustainable. And you can't blame the current market on this right here, because this wasn't from the current market. So all the current market did was solidify it a little bit more. So, and all I can say about that, for 100,000 WXM, put the crack pipe down. Crack's not good for you. You make stupid decisions like this. I don't know what a commercial license costs. For 4 years, they're auctioned. I'm hoping that means that whoever doesn't win gets this back. But ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, you're talking about a $5,000, $5,100 worth of chirp for that auction. I know some commercial companies need weather. If that's what the auction costs, I'm curious to know what the license itself costs. So I don't know. Let's move on. Next is grass. Grass started another epoch. Imagine that. So you can see that on December 1st, we started another epoch. All right. So actually, I made about 27,000 points in November total, which is worth about $9. When you split that up, that's about 30 cents a day. Hey, it's a free project. It runs. They recently said that they were going to try to start rewarding the Drive app more for us with dash cameras and stuff like that. So we'll see kind of what happens with that. And no announcements at all from Natix. Moving on to the next battle for last place is going to be Silencio. So Silencio for the week is up 12%. Uh-oh, watch out. So they went from 0.00079 to 0.00087. So hey, it's an improvement. I'll give them that. Still down 50% for the month. But you can see maybe there might be a little trend turn here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So this is on the Peak Network. Very disappointed in what's going on with that. But we'll see. Going back to my little chart here. So I did a video yesterday on my Silencio and what I pulled. You can go into that video to see, the details of it. But basically, I still held 400,000 raffle tickets. And I don't care if y'all say I'm running the project or not. There's several of y'all who have said they're not running this project no more, just doing the voice AI. So Grumpy started doing the voice AI. But for right now, in the month of November, with 400,000 raffle tickets, I made $1.60. When you divide it up for the month, that's 5 cents. I made a nickel a day. 400,000 raffle tickets is still going to be way more than people who are actually coming into this project and running the sound part of this project. So this is sad. You can say what you want. I know the cheerleaders going to come in saying Silencio's changing the game. I don't know what game y'all are watching. Y'all are watching the wrong channel. Now, saying all that, I almost feel like I got to split this into two separate projects. The Silencio AI thing on the computer seems to reward much better. If those tokens are actually, they call them in-app tokens, but I don't know if it's 1-for-1 on what you're getting for tokens compared to, or is it, if it's going through a raffle ticket type system too, I don't know. But if I figured it out right, you're actually, if you do, an hour's worth of this AI, you're actually doing, I can say pretty well, but it's an hour of your time. But you're doing better than you're doing with the Silencio walking around, getting the sound measurements. How about that? The AI thing, if you're bored and ain't got nothing to do, I got 3 different YouTube channels I'm running, work, kids, and like I got too much going on. But last night I was bored. I wanted to check it out. Somebody told me to check it out again. And they have different campaigns, people looking for certain things. And there was an English to English thing where you just sat right here and read stuff. So if you just want to sit back with your microphone and just read paragraphs or read keywords, hey, check it out. You might make a little bit. I'm curious to hear what, if any of y'all can tell me what y'all making from this. I'm curious to know. I just don't like how you can't figure out if the tokens are actual Silencio tokens or they're going into raffle tickets or what they are. They say in-app tokens. I don't know what that means. I don't think it's raffle tickets. I hope it's not raffle tickets. I think this project needs to get rid of raffle tickets. All right, moving on. I don't want to take up too much time. Helium IoT. I don't know how much longer I'm going to cover this. I am into Meshtastic and Meshcore, if y'all are familiar with that. And I need the Helium equipment. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I checked on this today, and I am averaging about 0.03 HNT a day per station. I still have 17 stations online. And it's absolutely horrible. It's just horrible. Um, you know, it's just sad. I was in a live with a Meshtastic group right before this started. That's why I started this so late. And they're teaching me a lot about the Meshtastic and Meshcore system, stuff like that. But I'm not teaching, but we're discussing, and I'm kind of telling them about some of the RF stuff. Some of them are new to some of that. And I'm telling them kind of like, this is very comparable to HNT, the Helium project. Distance, equipment, that's why I need the antennas. And I'm more interested in that project right now. And God forbid I don't make 3 cents a day. So I'm not getting rid of all of my Helium devices. There's some that are performing even worse than this. Some that are making the best. My best ones are making like 0.08 a day, maybe point not, maybe almost 0.1, almost a day. Those I'll keep because they, and all of them get a good amount of witnesses. None of them get no witnesses other than one or two, and I don't really even include that in that. But the other ones, as I need antennas for Meshtastic, I'm taking them off of Helium devices. It just ain't worth me running it. If y'all think something different, it's funny how every day you go on X, there's a Helium post about Helium's finally turning around and we're about to hit this bull wedge and all that. No. Wingbits. I kind of want to take a step back and warn everybody about FUD. FUD is fear of uncertainty, doubt, where you have people, especially late at night when there's no mods on, making comments that are just not true, or people just interpreting things into something that, there's like Silencio AI thing. They're translating it wrong. We've discussed this over and over again, and I'm going to discuss it again. Helium has this program for the next 2 days where you can go online and you can, as long as you have over 15,000 tokens, I think it is, you can sell up to half of that, but it's not even selling. It's like hey, we're going to take these tokens back from you, and whatever tokens you give us back, it's 0.005. It's not even tokens because there's no TGE. It's just those points you got, whatever. And people are assuming, well, that must mean that y'all think those tokens are going to be worth 0.005 on TGE. And it's nothing like that. No, I know I heard them say they're trying to figure it out a certain way, but what's been clarified to us is basically they had $400,000 put aside for this. And if every single person sold their 50% allotment, it would have been worth 0.005 each. If they would have put more money or less money into it, that price would have changed a little bit. And that's basically all it was, basic division. Some people are rubbed very wrong on this and think that, well, that means the project token's gonna be worth this, and when it goes to market, people can automatically assume it's worth this. And that's clearly not it at all. Some people just don't like it. I think it's a great thing only because you have people who, like me, who have been in this project for 2.5 years or 2 years or 18 months. And somebody like me with 15 stations has a lot of money put out on them. I got certain bills due. So I am planning on taking a decent little chunk out, not a lot, not a little bit. I'm not gonna say a lot of y'all, but I got 1 or 2 bills I'd like to get rid of. And I'd like to also reinvest some of this money into better SDRs like the AirSpire Mini. There's 1 or 2 that, I bought 15 antennas for stations, but when I was testing some like 2 or 3 of those stations might not have the best antenna, the grumpy antenna that I do on Amazon. So I'm going to take some of that money and reinvest it into the project because I want to increase and maximize my tokens so I can easily get those back. I got 15 stations. So I've been trying to figure out the math and the balance of, hey, how much do I want to swap and how long is it going to take me to get those tokens back? And with 15, you got to look at 15 stations. What am I making per week, per day? I go by per week because some days have more flights than others. My other big question mark is I have 2 different hosts right now who have very piss poor setups. I've spoken to both of them. They're supposed to be improving it. It wasn't what we agreed to, but I don't want to pull them back home because I have way too many stations around here. I'm trying to expand more. So I'm kind of caught in this area of not being a jackass, not being a dick, not trying to be a pain in their ass, but tell them, guys, I know you told me a month ago you were going to improve this, but you having this antenna inside your house, or one of my other hosts that keeps changing, he don't know nothing about RF. He just wants to keep getting the antenna higher. So he keeps putting different feed line on it. One feed line didn't have the little nipple on it or the little wire because it was a RPSMA or whatever. Then he uses this 40 feet of this little bitty thin wire that's thinner than this pin, and doesn't know why we're getting way worse rewards. And now he don't want to swap it. So it's killing me. So, I made sure I put that. Somebody asked about, was the Wingbits team going to let everybody know kind of what people were doing? And actually responded, no, because some people will take that. You could take that two different ways. And I 100% agree with that. Not that I'm here to defend the project, but some people are going to look at it and say, yeah, they had X amount of tokens swapped for this amount of money. Man, that's a lot of people who don't have faith in this project long term. No, some of us have 1.4 million tokens. I can afford to swap 100,000 tokens, 150,000 tokens, 500,000 tokens, and still be under my 50%. But I'm sitting there telling you that I'm going to get some of that money and I'm reinvesting in the project. I'm going to tell you right now, I have been doing research. The reason I haven't pulled my trigger yet, I got 2 days left, is because I'm really trying to work on a host location, because I'd like to get enough money to buy another WB200 and just send it to somebody, or take one of my DIY devices, which is it's a little bit easier to set up remotely, if I could send it to somebody, because it has tail scale on it. That's what I did with my last one in Nevada. And then put that WB200 here, which is what I did for this last station for Nevada. Put a WB200 here, ship the DIY somewhere else. I'd like to reinvest it into something like that. And if I can get this host deal done in the next 24, almost 48 hours, I don't know when exact, I got to find out when the exact time is that cuts off for this swap, but that's my plan right now. Is getting that done. But don't take it as, when you hear, I'm gonna tell you, majority of the people that I've talked to in my live and my Discord, I've all said they're not doing a swap. Now, have there been some people saying they're doing it? Absolutely. So yes, there are some people, I don't want to say a lie to you, and don't call me a liar. Yes, there are some people who are going to take it. They got people who are only eligible for $20, and they're going to take that $20. Hey, you do you. Congratulations. That's what makes you a human being. I wouldn't. Again, I have 1.4 something million Wingbits tokens. I am the number one miner, the number one holder of Wingbits. They have told me that. They won't officially come out and say it for some reason. I don't know why, but I've been told I am the number one holder. Again, I've had 15 stations, probably 12 or 13 for 2 years, and I've just racked them up. And now I've learned that instead of keeping them all around here, when it was me having them all around here, I am slowly starting to deploy them across the United States, especially in locations that I can find that have gaps. Working on right now in a certain state that has a very big gap. Hope it works out. But I'm still working this project. Still have faith in this project. And I hope none of y'all lose faith in this project. There's more I want to say about it, but again, this video is getting way too long than I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna move on. Combinder, don't know nothing about Combinder. They're in Telegram. Y'all can go find Telegram. People keep asking me for updates. I don't know. I cannot stand using Telegram for that project or for this project. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with BrushO. My daughter wants a BrushO. I'm probably gonna buy her BrushO at some point. They went TGE because you're making BrushO tokens now, but I don't think they can be exchanged anywhere. If they do, please tell me. I'm not familiar with it. I'm not looking to do it anytime soon. I haven't seen a price on the BrushO token, so I don't know if they're in testnet, still a mainnet. I don't know. I'm not going to look through Telegram. Telegram, you got to sit there and scroll, and if you touch the wrong spot, it's changing channels. I cannot stand Telegram. So to me, if Combinder and BrushO want to be taken serious in the DePin crypto world, they got to get on Discord. That falls on deaf ears. Nobody's listening to me. Oh well. 4D Sky. I still have my 4D Sky right here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm waiting to put it up. We have had rain. Today was the first day I've seen the sun shine with no clouds. I'm not joking, since probably last Monday or Tuesday. It has rained every day. And any place that I want to deploy this, it's way too wet for me to get to. I still don't even know the reason. One of the main reasons, I don't mind even deploying this in the rain. I just don't know where. I want to give this project the best benefit of the doubt. I want to put this in one of my best locations. I really want to put it on top of a building top. The problem is that I'm probably gonna have to take one of my projects down if I put it on a building top, because this thing has 2 antennas and I'm kind of limited on what I put up. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I think to give this the best benefit of the doubt, I really want to put it on building top. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Working on it, contemplating that. We'll see what happens. And CapturGO. Don't know too much going on with it. It's very, 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 very new project. We got it downloaded on the phone. I've been trying to tell some people about it. Don't know too much more of it than that. It's like 375 AI. If you're running 375 AI, you might as well run CapturGO as long as you have an iPhone. Kind of like what I say about honey gain and pawns. If you're going to run grass, run honey gain pawns and earn app. You might as well. Same thing with CapturGO. If you're going to run 375 AI on an iPhone, CapturGO is what you need to run. Announcement from, and I'm probably going to put CapturGO higher on this now. They're going to pass a bunch of people up just because the fact they're on Discord. But you can see that they did an update on the 3rd. And there's QuickGo still in, and Android is still on track for Christmas. There you go. If you have Android. So if you want to get involved in CapturGO, I do have a link in the description below. It's going to help you out as usual to get started. It's going to help the channel out, and I really appreciate it. Make sure you check below for all these different links I have for all these projects. It really helps me out seriously. So there's a new project, because, you know, everybody needs to be in 22 projects. So here's Mastchain. Some of y'all might remember this as the AIS project or the world something with the AIS with the ship tracking. Basically, this is Geodnet. I'm sorry, this is Wingbits or 4D Sky, but for boats. So you have to be somewhat close to water, or you can be in the middle of the United States. As long as there's a waterway that has ships that do shipping and stuff around it, Mississippi River, Ohio River, different places like that, Great Lakes, you know, you within 30, 40, 50 miles of that, depending on how high you get your antenna, it might be something. That's one reason why I like it, is because you don't have to worry about all of the United States people putting stations. Me, I live in the Gulf. I don't know how many ships I'm even be able to get on the Gulf, but I have the Mississippi River literally a few miles. I'm sorry, 1 mile that way. So we're going to see how this works. I'm hoping to have a Mastchain station up by the end of this week. So 4 days ago, I released this video, 3 new DePin projects to look into. Please check out that video. Make sure you give it a like also. I'll have a link to it at the end of this video short, at, you know, when 3 videos pop up in a few seconds. Make sure you check my links below. Make sure you're in my Discord also. I really appreciate it. It's still slowly growing. And please use my code to help out and everything like that. Things are kind of slow down, but I don't think it's anything I'm doing directly, as somebody told me. I think it's just DePin starting to go sideways. It's getting boring or scary, if anything. Crypto, the whole crypto market. But either way, we'll be here tomorrow night or tonight when you watch this. I'm doing this Monday right now. Tuesday night, you'll be able to watch this. Come to the live tonight. And also Thursday night, we'll discuss all the stuff going on. So remember, none of this is financial advice. Please make sure you hit the like button on the way out. I really appreciate all the help. And we'll see you tonight for the live. Y'all have a good one.